Hey guys, Mike Callahan here again. Got a ton of calls and messages over the weekend regarding how to calculate your drive time in service autopilot to make sure your overhead recovery is accounting for the dashboard time or the non-billable time. So there's a couple ways of doing it. I think the way I'm going to outline in this video here is the easiest way of doing it in service autopilot. So the first thing you need to do is probably get a Google Doc or an Excel sheet like we have here. This is an example of last year's drive time in our company. Obviously, you've got to track your own times. So what we did is broke up our service area to the west side, the east side, another service area that we do here, short for RON, and another suburb that we take care of is Pittsford. So there's a total of 4 service areas that we take care of that we like to track and recover the drive time for. So this is for a residential lawn mowing crew. So each one of these days here, each line represents a day. So this west side drive time was 1.33 hours, and that was driven from the Service Autopilot Pro mapping feature, or you could also use something like MapPoint in Microsoft, or even something as simple as MapQuest. But basically, this is going to be your start time from your shop to every job on the route, and then back to the shop. So the whole entire time. And this is the total drive time for that whole entire route. It does not take into account if there's 1 guy or 5 guys on that route. This is just the actual time to drive that whole entire route. So what we did is on the west side here, we added all the days that we mow in 1 week. So we've got approximately 10 different routes here on this route on the west side. The east side, we've got 5. In this RON town, we've got 2. And then this Pittsford here, we've got 1. So what we did is try to set an average drive time for each service area geographically that we service, so we can recover the overhead for the drive time on average across each yard that we mow. So if you look down here, we've basically summed all these up and divided them here, and you can see in this average here, so it's an average of all the drive times. So on the west side, it's 1.09 hours for drive time, and then in our Excel sheet here, we put the number of people on the crew, so there's 2 on our crew. Our charge per man hour, so when we're out on these routes, we want to be making at least $50 per man hour while we're either driving or mowing a lawn. And then we used a formula here, total charge for drive time for the day, where we took the average drive time. You can see the formula right here if you want to copy it. The average drive time times the amount of people on the crew, which is 2, times the desired dollar an hour amount that we want to get and charge, which is 50. So 50 times 2 guys times an hour, 0.09 for drive time equals out, for the total charge of the day, we need to charge $109.89 to recover the dashboard time or the idle time. So we went here and looked. The average number of accounts serviced per day on each crew in our company is 34. So obviously that's going to be different in your company, but you'd want to plug that number in. The extra drive time charge per job right here is the 109 divided by 34 jobs, which you can see here. So B18, which is total drive time extra that we need to charge, the 109 divided by the 34, which is the B220 here. So 109 divided by 34 gives us $3.23 that we need to charge on top of whatever we're charging while we're on each job for mowing the lawn. If we scroll down here, the next line item that we're looking for is the extra budgeted time for drive time. So $50 an hour, and we've got $3.23. If you divide that out, the extra budgeted time that we need to add to each job on average, if we do 34 lawns a day on this route, is 0.06 man hours. The drive time cost, we also take a look at. So in this example, if your company is breaking even at $33 per man hour, so that's all your direct costs and your G&A, which would be your indirect costs here. So if it costs you $33 an hour to operate your company before making a penny in profit, we would take a look at the actual cost here and multiply the $33 an hour break even times the extra budgeted time that's allotted for each time. So this tells me here, when we look at it, every time we go to a job in this part of town, if I was not recovering the cost of drive time, it was actually costing me $2.13 in dashboard time for 2 guys on that crew. So The first step is to build an Excel sheet here. All your service areas across the top. List all the drive times. Each line here represent 1 day of drive time. And then you're going to average them, number of crew on the people, or number of people on the crew, the average man hour per charge that you want to get. So if it's $40 per man hour, or $50 or $60 per man hour, put that in here. And then you figure out your total time for drive time, the extra charge here for the whole entire day. And that's for how many guys are on the crew or ladies on the cleaning crew or wherever it may be. And then we're going to come up with the extra budgeted time and the extra charge per job here. The next step is you're going to go into Service Autopilot, add a service, and create the service that you want to set up. So these are the 3 or 4, or actually the 4 drive times that we've built. So the example here for the east side, if you click in, these are already set up. You're going to probably only want to use it just for estimates, so the customer does not see this on their bill, but we are incorporating the charge. When we click in here, we want to put the default rate of whatever we came up in the Excel sheet and the default budgeted rate. And this will automatically come up in your pricing matrix. So once we set this up, set the parent service up for lawn mowing. You can do this for your shrub pruning or any other maintenance job you do if you know the average drive time. Hit save. And now that we've done that, we're ready to set up an estimate. So we'll go into Service Autopilot, search. This is our test account here, so I'll show you how you can actually set this up in a live event. So add an estimate. You're going to select your estimate document, which you probably already pre-built. So for this instance here, I'm going to use Residential Lawn Services and our 2016 estimate for next year coming up. If you haven't built out these predetermined templates, I would highly suggest doing so. It makes your estimating system very easy and streamlined. So we've got a pre-built pricing matrix here based on the square footage. This is our demo account here, but for this instance, what we can show you here is hit the plus sign. You're going to select a service that we've already set up, and we're going to select the drive time right here. So this account, select on it, include as default services, make sure that's selected, and it should pre-populate all my drive time right below as it did here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them right here that we'd already pre-populated. And we're going to look at it and just select the one we want. So we're going to deselect the other service areas. So I've got a rate of $26 for the lawn mowing and a drive time for that pre-selected area of $5.79 and the budgeted hours of 0.12 and budgeted hours for the mowing of 0.63. So once this is all done on the estimate, when we provide it to the customer, this drive time will not show, but it'll be included in the price. So it'll be the $26 plus the $5.79, so you'd have $31.79 for this example right here, and a total budgeted time for 0.63 on the job and 0.12 drive time right here, 0.75. So it takes the budgeted times for the on the job, budgeted times for the drive time, and we'll add that up. So once you select this to quote, you can actually email or print out your estimate. If you have any other questions on how we did this, feel free to drop a comment down below. And thanks again for all the support for everybody in the group. I've been learning quite a bit myself here. So just trying to give back a little bit to the group for everybody else helping me out. Thanks a lot, and everybody have a great week.